Jehovah's Witnesses, almost all of us, have heard the dreadful knock at the door. Most people hide from them. Some answer the door politely and tell them to go away. Others stand and speak with them. Their goal? Conversion. All Bible quotations that I will use in this video will be from the Revised Standard Version Catholic Edition unless otherwise specified. For all of you who are like me, yes, it has both the nihil obstat and imprimatur. And before I begin, make sure to note all of my sources in the description. You can find them all down there, and I will be referring to them throughout the video. This video will discuss the first 5 basic tenets of the Jehovah's Witnesses, as it is said on their website's What Do Jehovah's Witnesses Believe page, which is source number 1. The religion that they follow was founded by Charles Taze Russell in the 19th century. Russell was one of several involved in a Bible study group. They planned on reforming modern Christianity, returning to what the original Christians believed. That's source number 2. They identify as Christian, that's source number 3, but please note that they do not meet the minimum requirements to be a Christian set by the Vatican, which is found in source number 4. But what do they even believe? Is there any reason to believe what they believe? Is there even any real difference between what they believe and what the Catholic Church believes? Well, in a word, yes. In 2 words, a lot. So let's begin. Number 1, the Bible. Jehovah's Witnesses believe that the Bible is the inspired Word of God. When they come to your door, their first source that they will use is the Bible. However, they have their own warped version of the Bible, which they call the New World Translation. For example, in the Revised Standard Version and almost all other versions, John 1:1 reads, "In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God." However, in the New World Translation, John 1:1 is rendered, "In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was a God," which they promptly add with an asterisk, an alternate translation, "and the Word was divine." I'm sure a lot of you can already see a problem here with either of those renderings, but for those of you who don't, I'll explain it later in the video. Number 2, the Creator. This can't go wrong, right? Right? Well, sorta. While the Jehovah's Witnesses do believe in the God of Abraham, they have a completely different belief as to what that implies. They use the name Jehovah when referring to God, as you can tell with their name. And don't get me wrong, that's not bad. However, it is the English pronunciation of the Latin rendering of the Hebrew Tetragrammaton, source number 5. So, yeah. Jehovah's Witnesses also deny the doctrine of the Trinity, source number 6. Let's look at their article, "Should You Believe in the Trinity?" As in most of their magazines, and so it is with this one as well, they take quotes out of context and make the quotes sound as though they were saying something they weren't. This is where the mistranslation of the New World Translation makes a difference as well. Instead of saying the Word was God, they say the Word was a God or divine. So they deny that Jesus is God. Number 3, Jesus Christ. Yes, Jehovah's Witnesses do believe in Jesus. They have a completely different belief as to who Jesus actually is, though. They believe that Jesus is Michael the Archangel, source number 7. Their arguments are quite easy to refute if you know what we're talking about. They quote Jude 9, where it uses the term Michael the Archangel. This proves that there is only one archangel or chief angel, right? Well, in their very next source, they refute themselves. They then quote 1 Thessalonians 4:16, which the New World Translation renders as, "The Lord himself will descend from heaven with a commanding call, with an archangel's voice." Did you hear that? An archangel, which implies that there is more than one archangel. Even if you look at their first source, I am the young Catholic apologist, but that doesn't mean that I am the only young Catholic apologist. Not only am I the young Catholic apologist, I am also a young Catholic apologist. Number 4, God's Kingdom. I'm going to make an actual quote from their beliefs page, which is source number 1. Again, this is an actual heavenly government with a king, Jesus Christ, and 144,000 co-rulers who are brought from the earth. End quote. They go on to cite Bible verses, which I will go over in a later video. Yes, the Jehovah's Witnesses believe that there will be only 144,000 people in heaven. They also believe that the rest of the faithful who didn't quite make the cut will live forever in an earthly paradise. Their website says they, the 144,000, will rule over the earth, which will be cleansed of all wickedness and will be inhabited by many millions of God-fearing humans. End quote. Let's talk about the 144,000. I'll go over their main source, Revelation 14:1, in their New World Translation. Then I saw, and look, the Lamb standing on Mount Zion, and with him 144,000 who have his name and the name of his Father written on their foreheads. Okay, sounds good, right? Well, if you continue to read, even in the New World Translation, it says this: these, the 144,000, are the ones who did not defile themselves with women. In fact, they are virgins. This implies that all of the 144,000 were virgins. If you look at one of the references of verse 1 on their website, it cites Revelation 7:4, which reads, "And I heard the number of those who were sealed, 144,000, sealed out of every tribe of the sons of Israel." The sons of Israel, if taken in the literal sense, means that only Jewish males can reach heaven. So, combined with verse 14:1, only male Jewish virgins could reach heaven. Number 5. The earth. As I said earlier, Jehovah's Witnesses believe that all those who don't quite make it to heaven will live forever on earth. Their source? Ecclesiastes 1:4. A new generation is going, and a generation is coming, but the earth remains forever. Now, this verse does not support their idea of a paradise earth quite the way they want it to. You see, they need to support the idea of there being two places of paradise, or two flocks. Never in the Bible does Jesus speak of two flocks. In fact, there's only one flock, the sheep. The goats are those who are not going to receive paradise at all. All the nations will be gathered before him, and he will separate people one from another, just as a shepherd separates the sheep from the goats, and he will put the sheep on his right hand, but the goats on his left. Matthew 25:32-33, New World Translation. And then, if we read on, then he will say to those on his left, "Go away from me, you who have been cursed, into the everlasting fire prepared for the devil and his angels." Matthew 25:41, New World Translation. There never is any mention of there being two flocks in the Bible. If you look at their article, The Earth, which is source number 8, the article never really gives a defense of their belief, they just make vague claims, and strawman the mainstream Christian beliefs about heaven and hell. That's all for now. I will go more into depth after my next video. If you liked this video, make sure to give it a like. If you want, hit that subscribe button and share with family and friends. It is our responsibility to share our beliefs with others. Next up, What Jehovah's Witnesses Believe, Part 2. But until then, go to confession, go to Mass, and live a good Catholic life. Young Catholic Apologist. All the sources, all the time.